Alright guys, for today's video, I'm going to be showing you all how I edited this picture and took it from something like this to this. And if that sounds interesting to you, please keep watching. Right, so I'm going to start by giving the photo a really cool tone by reducing the temperature to say 5000. Next, I'm going to add a bit more of a purple/pink tint to the photo and increasing it to +10. Now the photo is obviously really dark, so I'm going to bump the exposure to a positive 1.10 and then the contrast to 17. Now for the highlights, I'm going to drop it to -43 and subsequently bump up the shadows by, let's say, 48. And now for the whites, I'm going to crush it and give it a value of -100 just so that the details in the bokeh behind me is really preserved. Naturally, I'm going to up the blacks to like +14 as the photo is still a bit too dark for my liking. And now I'm just going to add a bit of clarity, say +7 to make the photo pop a little bit more, and also the vibrance to +12. Next, I'm going to go ahead and play with the tone curve a bit. Now the tone curve is where I add in the moodiness to the photo, right? So I'll start by increasing the highlights a tad bit to bring in more life to the background. And then for the blacks, I'm going to bring out the blacks a lot in order to add in the moody effect to the photo itself. Alright, so after the tone curve, I'm going to go into the HSL slider tab. Now under the hue section, I'm going to make the following changes. Red, -4, orange, -16, yellow, -16, green, +36, aqua, -40, blue, -31. Now followed by the saturation section where the values are red +10, orange +60, yellow +50, green -2, aqua -55, blue -80. And finally the luminance slider, in which the values are red -3, orange +5, yellow +6, aqua +42, blue +9, and purple -3. Moving on to the next part, split toning. Now this is an integral part of the edit as it essentially balances out the warm tones and the cool tones in the same picture. So for the highlights, I'm going to add in a cool tone with a hue value of 231 and a saturation of 25. And for the shadows, a warm tone with a hue value of 159 and saturation at 11. So I essentially added a cool tone to the shadows and a warm tone to the highlights by doing this. Now finally, camera calibration. Now this is where 90% of the magic happens, and it can either make or break a photo. So first things first, I'm going to start by adding a green tint to the shadows with a value of -9. Next, for the red primary, I'm going to change the hue value to +3 and then drop the saturation to -88. Followed by the green primary, where I'm going to bump the hue to +100 and the saturation to +76. Finally, the blue primary. This is where the whole photo essentially changes, guys. So I'm going to drop the hue to -67 and the saturation to say -14. Poof, and just like that, the whole photo changes. Now to top it off and add a little more flair to the picture, I'm going to use the adjustment brush tool to add a little something to my eyes. So I'm going to increase the shadows, the highlights, and clarity, and then I'm just going to paint over my pupils to make them really pop and stick out. And with that, the look is pretty much over. Now, I want to just say that I tailor each edit to each photo of mine, so this edit will not work for every photo. But it definitely can potentially work as a base layer on which you could tweak and edit to your liking. So I didn't create this video for you guys to just straight up copy my look and use it on all your photos, but rather just like provide an insight to how I edit. So I hope this video taught you something and gave you an insight into my editing process/style. So if you did like this video, please leave a like and even subscribe to my page for new tutorials and content. Also, if you have any suggestions as to what you want to see in the future and what I should make videos upon, please do leave a comment. Alright, see you all in the next video.